I'm live. Okay. All right. I think that's the best I can do in terms of the light. Good morning, you guys. Welcome to Being Back Alive. It is, oh, look, I can fix that little bit. Is that all right? That's pretty good. Okay. Welcome to not Being Back Alive. Welcome to Growing Gratitude. It is Sunday morning. It is the first Sunday of 2022. Welcome back to the even years, my friends. Um, I'm a big fan of even years. I feel like good things happen in even years. I don't know. That's my weirdness. Uh, Obviously, Sunday hair, don't care. I am sitting here in my coziness in my spots because I think this is really what gratitude should be. So I've got my animals around me. Everybody's here. Antonio is at the coffee shack right now, and I am in my spot. Growing gratitude is my attempt to very publicly and very consciously talk about the things in my week that I am grateful for, and the things that kept me motivated no matter how shitty my week is. And my hope is to inspire you guys to do the same. I am going to right now apologize for my low energy this morning. Not only am I not a morning person, which you guys know very well if you've been following me for some time, but not only am I not a morning person, um, also, I am having some belly aches this morning. So I have a really jacked up gastro system. It's really messed up from years of untreated anxiety, years of abuse and misuse, and just in general being an autistic gastro system. So I'm a little tired this morning. My belly's not feeling so great. And so I apologize for that. But nonetheless, I'm here, even if I'm not shouting loudly and jumping off of couches and things, which is not something I normally do anyway. Anyway, so welcome. Good morning. Happy 2022. Stevie, Bernard, Morgan, Burnett, Joe, you guys are all here. Thank you so much for joining me this morning and taking some time and spoons out of your day to hear the things for which I am grateful. So let's begin with the fact that it's January and let's talk about the fact that we didn't make it to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, so I didn't make the goal and that happens, right? It's like a long-term goal, but I met lots of little goals in between. I learned a lot about what happens when you ask for support, what happens, I mean, in terms of social media, little ways that I can try to include things that are fun in my YouTube channel, like the AMA, like giveaways, things like that. I learned a lot about it. And you guys, really, those of you who are really dedicated to yourselves and to the work that we do at Self-Defined Living and that are really sort of I don't know, committed to this thing that we're doing and trying to live our best autistic lives right now, right? Not when research catches up. So um I just you guys came through for me in a way that I can't even tell you. So I guess that's my first gratitude. Thank you to my new subscribers because I did get a bunch. We didn't get to the 1,000, but I got a bunch. And I was really, really grateful for that. And so those of you who are new to the channel, I say thank you. And that is my first gratitude is for the new subscribers. And I also, my second gratitude goes to the old subscribers, not old in that way, but the ones that were here before the giveaways. You guys are the ones that got those new subscribers here. You guys helped me to share and to comment and to keep the giveaways going and all of those things for me. And so that's my second gratitude this week is for you guys helping for the channel to grow in the way that it did, right? I mean, it grew some and it definitely got some views and things like that. So, there, and some of you actually, we talk about this. Some of you actually reached out to me personally to say, even though you didn't make it to 1,000, please, please, please keep the channel going and things like that. So to those of you that sent those emails or comments and things like that, many, many, many thank yous. I really appreciate it. That's my third gratitude today because that's the reason I keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? It's not like this work is making me a millionaire anytime soon, right? That's not where it's at. And it's not retail. I'm not really selling products. I mean, sure, we have the Self-Defined Living store and things like that. But for the most part, this is not about that. That's not what I'm doing here. So in any case, I'm really just grateful for what did happen and what did come out of it. My next big gratitudes for this week are really sort of poignant. And I don't even know if I can talk about any little gratitudes from this week, but maybe I will. I'm going to leave this one for last. So my next gratitude goes actually to my in-laws, my family in New York. That is my family by marriage. My mother-in-law sent us great gift cards this year. And, Antonio and I talk a lot about gift cards as gifts, and he struggles with them. He feels like he needs to do something else, or doing a gift card is sort of giving in. We had a whole conversation about it, but the fact of the matter is it changes, year from year. Sometimes we don't have the spoons and energy to go out and do the shopping, or we don't have the money to go out and do the shopping, or whatever it is. And if, it becomes a gift card year, it's not a bad thing, right? Sometimes it's easier when folks give you a gift card and you get the things you really need or want, and they don't have to guess so hard, right? So in any case, that's an aside. My mother-in-law sent us some really generous gift cards for Christmas this year, and Antonio and I decided that it was time that we did some adult things with it. It was time that, when someone gives you a gift card, it's an opportunity to spend money that you don't have and wouldn't have spent on yourself, is the way that I look at it. So for a really long time in our kitchen, and I want to say a really long time, like our entire time together. So we've been together 6 years. And in that time, we've not bought anything really new. Like, we bought our couch, but all of our pots and pans were hand-me-downs from my apartment in Queens and his grandparents' house. Same thing with our microwave, our coffee maker, our toaster, like all the small appliances, right? Both of us had just always kind of inherited other people's used ones, right, when they bought new ones. And so with this money, we decided to treat ourselves, because, like, when you can tell something's going to go, right? So like the coffee maker was going to go, the microwave we inherited with this house, and it was a really small, low wattage microwave. Our toaster, okay, so the toaster and the coffee maker came from my apartment in Queens. And I had it way before I met Antonio. I want to put another 5 years on the 6 years that Antonio and I have been together. So about 11-year-old coffee maker and toaster maker. Like, that's how long we've been using the same machines, because when you don't have the money to just willy-nilly buy things, you wait until they break, and that's when you go and get one, right? And so, things are still functional. It's like, we don't need it yet. We can get the things the pets need, or we can put into the business, or whatever. So with these gift cards, Antonio and I decided, you know what? Let's do something we wouldn't normally do, and let's get a new coffee maker, get a new toaster, and get a new microwave for the kitchen with the gift cards. And so we did. And I have to tell you, if I wasn't feeling so just lazy today, I would get up and I would show you that we got all of those things, and that, like, we reorganized where things are in the kitchen, and it just feels better in there. Which actually leads me into my very last and biggest gratitude for this week. So hang on to your pants, and trigger warning if you're somebody who is triggered by other people's trauma. This week, if you are a news follower, if not, I will update you. But we had, not yesterday, it was Friday, I want to say. That was New Year's Eve day, right? Yes. So we had a crazy windy day here in Colorado. We were having a big storm come through, and usually right before the storm comes through, big winds come through Colorado. We have a definite wind problem in Colorado. Like, there are times when it gets really strong, and it depends where you live and how bad it gets and all of that stuff. But we have also had an incredibly dry winter. So, like, it hasn't snowed or rained and nearly enough here for the ground and the trees and all of those things to be super saturated, which is what keeps wildfires at bay, right? And the reason we have so many here in Colorado is because we also have kind of a desert portion of Colorado. So it's a very dry state, Colorado. But in the winters, we usually get big chunks of snow. Well, I will tell you that we got a snowstorm on Saturday and Saturday night, but on Friday it hadn't snowed for months. I mean, we haven't had anything like the snow that we usually get at all. It's been super dry. So, and then the winds came in, and unfortunately, that combination of things for Colorado means wildfires every time. Where they start from, various different things. Sometimes somebody throws a cigarette out the window, sometimes something else, but for whatever reason, wildfire sparks off. And when it does spark off, depending on how strong the winds are and how dry it's been, is how fast it will grow. Well, because it has been so incredibly dry here and we have not had any snow really, and then we got these huge mega winds coming through, there was a terrible, terrible wildfire in Boulder County, lower Boulder County. So, that's north from where I am. So thankful for that. But it's north and kind of, where the wildfire happened was in what we call the foothills. So like at the very bottom of where the mountains end, right? And it kind of just blew through there, and it was a very, very heavily populated area, which meant there was a ton of fuel for the fire, ton of trees and whatnot, and I don't even know how to describe it. I want to say Google the drone footage, because if you picture in your head a suburban neighborhood with all the houses that pretty much look the same, and it's those like the little like curvies through, but everyone's houses are like ticky-tacky houses and they all look the same, right? And so that's what it was like, the area that it blew through. It was lots of houses very close together, very suburban neighborhood, kids, pets, the whole deal. It's not like it was a wildfire in the middle of the forest, which is also a terrible thing, but terrible in a different way. So, I mean, I think it's upwards of 500 homes or something like that were, minutes. It was so fast because it grew so fast. And so a lot of people, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, depending on how you look at it, were not even home. They were at work. And so, they didn't even have a chance to evacuate properly. They were not even near their homes. And so it's a very disturbing thing when we have tragedies like that, whether it's a hurricane, a natural disaster like that, right? Natural-ish disaster, right? Because it had to have been a human that started it, I imagine. I don't know, though. We won't know. But yeah, so we are having this kind of disaster response right now in Colorado because we've now had a huge snowstorm. We got like, I don't know, I think 8 to 10 inches of snow. Sorry, Joe, you're going to have to do the math. Every time I talk about that stuff, I think immediately of you, Joe, in the UK. I'm sure I have other UK followers, but I'm sorry that I call you out all the time. But yeah, so it was like about this much snow we got the next day, which is terrible. It's awful that that's what occurred. So it's this really terrible tragedy. And so I have gratitudes related to it. Meaning that the first, of course, is that fortunately for me, this time, right, it was not near our house. We were about, I want to say we're like 2 hours away from where it happened. I live way up in the mountains, so I'd first have to go down the mountain and then kind of go north a little bit. So quite a ways away from where I am, but that doesn't mean it was quite a ways from all the people that I know in Colorado, right? Or don't even know. Think it was just to look at the footage the next day, because it happened and then it got dark, right? It became night, and so we didn't see the footage of the displacement as much. But next morning, yeah. So gratitude for that. Gratitude that the storm came, and when it did, I was cozy and warm in my house with my pets and not displaced and all of that stuff. Yeah, all of that. So it was really just, I don't know, a moment I had like overall gratitude just for it to not be something I was affected by. And at the same time, it was really distressing, to see, to watch, and all of that stuff. And Antonio and I had looked at houses when we were looking to buy. We had looked at houses in a lot of the areas that were affected. And we didn't choose to live there because everyone lived so close together, and that wasn't what we wanted. We didn't move from New York to have that. But you can see kind of what kind of happened for these people. And so my gratitude about not having it affect me is so big that there are no amount of times I can talk about it that will be enough. But out of that came, again, some really beautiful things. So remember how I told you that none of my kitchen stuffs was broken. It was just old, right? well, and how, you usually, and yes, I am someone who pays it forward. I am somebody who recycles things. I'm somebody who loves thrift stores. I'm somebody who loves to donate stuff, right? Because I don't like waste. I really abhor waste. It's like I wanted a new coffee maker, but the other one was still working, and I didn't grow up in a family where we could just throw working things away. And so as this thing unfolded, it has also become an opportunity to pay it forward. One of our good friends and local business owner here in our town decided to organize a donation spot where we could have our town donate a whole bunch of stuff, and then a few of us will make sure that those things get there. And I immediately jumped on that, and I was like, we will be a second collection spot because we're far enough away from her that people can choose either spot. And then a third business joined us, and so we have 3 collection spots in our town, and they need small appliances, right? I mean, all of these families, all of their stuff, from their clothes and their gloves and what they need for the winter, to their pet supplies and their pet beds and all of those things, to their toothbrushes and shampoo. I mean, everything gone. So we are doing a big collection of all of this stuff, and now I get to take all of these working but old small appliances directly to people who have been affected by this fire. And so we get to make the first donation in our donation spot of those 3 items. I also, if you remember way back, I avoided forever cleaning out my drawers, and then I finally did it. And then I just put aside all the things that I pulled out of my drawers, and I have not yet donated them anywhere. But guess what? I have more donations. I have clothes now to give and all of this stuff. And so it was an opportunity to say, I'm so grateful that it wasn't me here. How can I help? How can I help you guys? And so I'm grateful for my town, for it being filled with people who think that way, along with us. And so we were able to join together and create this thing. So we're doing that now. So I'm grateful for that opportunity to do that kind of thing, really. And I think, the gratitudes that surround the whole thing are huge. And so if you are at all touched by what it means for these people to have been displaced, or there is something that you want to do about it, feel free to reach out to me. I will figure out a way. I don't know all that much about organizations that are accepting money at this time, because literally money isn't going to help these people. Their immediate need is clothing on their back, and how can I make coffee in the morning, and my kids have to get to school. School supplies was another thing people were asking for. Just really, it becomes your duty, obligation, none of these words are right. It becomes, if you are truly living a life that is aligned, it becomes easy to see the places where your gratitude should sit, and easy to see the places where action needs to follow, right? So if I'm truly living an aligned life where I'm not taking things for granted, where I'm being mindful, where I'm taking care of my own needs while also taking care of the needs of others and things like that, this is exactly that opportunity, right? And I think Antonio and I will probably end up making a bunch of sandwiches and a bunch of food, and we'll take that down with us for that day. So there's one meal that they don't have to think about, right? I can't imagine what it would be like. And because this one is so close to home, and I have driven past these places and I know them well, I think that's why it hit me so deeply. So I think that's really where I want to leave gratitude today, is with that thought that just having a place to go to sleep at night and your toothbrush where you left it last is something to be grateful for, because some people just have that ripped away from them, and next time it could be you, right? It's all of that kind of thinking that is in alignment with the way that we are trying to live our lives. And so I hope you guys are also looking for those opportunities in your life in which you can stay in alignment but still give back. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't have much more to say, because that gratitude is just so big that it could be for months. But that's where my head and my thinking is at. I know I have other things to be grateful for from this week. And I'm sure if I sat for a few minutes and thought about it, I could think of others. But I think this is the one that I want to leave you guys with, because the universe never stops giving opportunities for gratitude and opportunities for you to give back, pay forward, things like that. And they appear often in this casing of tragedy or trauma. So yeah, that's where I leave you, you guys. I hope that you will take some time today to sit with the things that you are grateful for making it through this week. Even if you had a really shitty, stressful, whatever week. I hope that you will take some time wherever it is to very consciously, and it doesn't have to be as publicly as I do it, but consciously with much awareness. I would love it if you guys could sit down and take a few minutes to think about the things that got you through your week this week, right? What are they? What do you have to be grateful for? And I don't care if you write it down in a journal. You can share it in our Facebook group, which we started doing. Quiet, please. Oh, I thought we were going to escape an entire live stream without the dog getting involved. Fiona, quiet. Thank you. Guessing not. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Please make sure that you guys do that for yourselves. Share it in our Facebook group, share it in a journal, share it with a partner, a spouse, a child, a family member, a friend. Go out into nature, share it with the trees. It doesn't matter to me. Just make sure you take that time away today to just know that there are things that you have to be grateful for. You just have to pause and practice the pause and do them. I will, of course, be back here on Wednesday with the next Being Back Alive. And then, of course, I'll be back next Sunday with the next Growing Gratitude. Until then, you guys, be grateful for where you're at. Be grateful for what you have. And of course, get out there and seek joy, create joy, share joy, all the joys. And I will see you guys back here next Sunday for gratitude and on Wednesday for Being Back Alive. Until then, I will see you out and about on the interwebs, you guys. Have a good one. Bye.